Things have been pretty dull in this market for the last week and a half. If you have been following this market since the beginning of November until now, it has been pretty boring, especially if you own XRP. I mean, XRP hasn't finished much in the last, say, 7 days. When we look at XRP over the next 30 days, 90 days, and 60 days, it is still up a lot. Things are getting a little less interesting, though, over the last few days. And that's because the market has begun to sort of settle down. You get the idea. We've been seeing a little chop. And that's something I've talked about a bit on the channel, especially as we get ready for what's next. And in this video, I'll give you a lot of information to help you figure out what will happen next with Bitcoin, XRP, and the rest of the market. That being said, welcome to the channel. Everyone I call is Nick. If you're new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this movie, you'll decide to subscribe. What are you guys planning to do if your men aren't in the free Discord? Sign up for the free Discord channel in the description below. The contributions of almost 10,000 people are there. Also, you might not be sorry you joined. Since we already know that, let's get started and talk about a few things. First, let's really make this our own. As a totally kind of just pass this around and see what's been going on, I need to look at the 24-hour gain. Also, for the 7th day, I just want to let you guys know what's going on. Within the last 7 days, XRP has gone down about 5% in 24 hours, as I said. There aren't even 2 full-size wins here. All around, there have been a lot of huge profits, but in the Pinnacle 100, there have been DeFi gemstones beginning to make a pass that seems a little off. That was bound to happen. Listen, as stores get their stock back, DeFi starts to pick up in a big way. You should know that we do look at AV, Chainlink, SNX, and a few others. Even the DEX tokens have been doing very well, which was easy to see coming. But before we look at XRP, you should know that it hasn't done much in the last week or so. That's what the last month looks like, even though sure, we're up 179%, but that number goes all the way back to November. In fact, this is what we're looking at, which is to come up with about $2.90. I know that this is announcing something like $284. There was, however, a return of about $2.90 at the beginning of the month. Then, because you already know we've been going in a slightly different direction, and now it's the 15th. Since we saw that big move to the top, it's been about 12 days. A lot of people are getting bored with XRP. They are saying, okay, you know that XRP isn't doing anything again. That works in a funny way, right? For example, when we think about the shopping zone, you know that everyone gets a little bored when XRP isn't going to a new all-time high right away. One thing I will say, and this is something that kind of worries me, is that buying and selling numbers is a clear part of it. If we look at the last 24 hours of dealing on XRP, we see that it was worth about $5.43 billion. On the very bottom of CoinMarketCap's map, you can even see from about the second, the 0.33, you can see how the amount has been steadily going down over the years to where it is now. Do you understand that we're now in? That's it. I guess XRP has stopped out. Without a doubt, let's say that XRP is getting ready for a much bigger flow. And I do believe that amount will return to XRP. As soon as we see them, the market shape will change a little. What else do I want to say about that? Well, money starts to flow down and the market starts to move around. I do believe that there will be a big shift toward XRP in the near future, most likely hours and days. I say that in a nice way because we are going to talk about it. Now, first, I'd like to talk about Bitcoin because it's beginning to make a nice little move. As you may know, our market value has risen above $2 trillion and the number of trades is significantly increasing. Let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. This is how the general picture looks. Right now, I'm at the daily, and I was also drawing this out in the Discord for anyone who is there. And if we look at this correctly, we've been dressing this way. Again, they're going all the way back to about the first half of November. We also had a nice destroy right now. We now broke away and began to cut a little. There really is a bull flag pattern here that we've been buying and selling every day against this resistance level of about 101K, right? And we really did have a nice little close above this the day before today. You could say that this isn't definitely a good size near. It's not really true. But it is still at the end of each day's candle above this. And we did have a shallow close above it the day before. And today, if we really close this off, it's going to be about 8 hours away. If we close above this level, I think that will be the start of a much bigger rise. And the target on the rise that I'm looking for at the moment is ready for 110,000 cash. And the percentage edge from where we are now isn't that big of an advantage. That being said, It's still about a 7% rise in price at the same time that we're looking for this move on Bitcoin. Let's keep an eye on Bitcoin dominance, because if we look at this over the course of 3 days, we can see that this is trading at a huge support level, but we're starting to see a bit of a breakout right now. I think it's still likely that prices will go down from this level, and I think the support level will stay at 57%. I don't want us to get really close on this for at least 3 days. We are still 9 hours and an afternoon away from the end of the 3-day candle. On the daily, we're about 8 hours and 5 minutes away from getting a daily candle. Plus, I don't have to look as close above this resistance level. I want to peer as much as possible reject here. But the problem I'm looking at right now is that we have this great bottom right here seen through this low. To sum up, Bitcoin is still likely to show a little more value while all other coins sit there, do nothing. So all you have to do is make sure you have that right. It's great that XRP could still stay a little idle and boring. As long as we don't see Bitcoin clearly lose its dominance in a big way and Bitcoin clearly steal the show because of it, then if Bitcoin clearly loses its dominance and Bitcoin probably sells off, who knows? It should start to take off from last week here. The value of $104,000 is stable this week. It might sell off from there, or it might sell off from this $100,000 mark. Also, if it doesn't, Bitcoin takes over the market to about 60%, all other coins will have a hard time. So just be aware of that. You know that we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves when we say things like, all right. That's what XRP is going to do, to be more gentle. And you know what I mean? We need to be more aware. But if we go to this article from Bitcoin.com news, I want to kind of show you guys what they're looking at. And I do think that as of this writing, they have Bitcoin at a steady level of 125K, just below its all-time high of 100K. It's almost like a bullseye of 145K points to the upside. But be careful of pullbacks near 100,000K. Alerts from oscillators together send a message to short-term buyers. In the short run, yes, people are likely to be careful. Just a heads up, just keep that in mind and be a little extra careful as we start to change levels close to resistance, or as you already know, the high wicks. Strong help at 100,000K keeps the hope alive. It's possible that gains could be stopped at 103.5% of 1 or 5K. However, moving averages chose to stay in a bullish trend. Also pay attention. I'm still very optimistic about this area. I think a lot of people take short-term and low time frame trading too seriously because, as you know, having said that, there will be short-term setbacks. If we look at the Bitcoin picture over the course of 4 hours, for example, you can see those short-term drops along the way. But all of that chop leads us to the big breaks that are happening in this area right now. For example, at the 4-hour level, we did wick into a main resistance level. So we need to be careful here. We need to watch out. We need to keep our cool. Before we need to clean up this level. You already know that I'm excited or something, but in such a short amount of time, yes, you can see that there are pullbacks. More chop could happen, which would be bad for all coins, but the bull run is still going strong. We are also in the middle of an all season, as we really think about this.